Um, so I actually felt like the TED Talks were extremely powerful, especially when we're considering social justice work. Because it's extremely important to kind of understand the importance of social justice work and like how to properly kind of apply it. And so when we're talking about like revolutionary love, I felt like it was talking about the importance of taking care of yourself because there was that self care. She mentioned that was, a feminist concept. Taking care of others and also like pushing back against things that are harmful and kind of building rapport with people to make that humanistic connection and humanizing each other. Because when we demonize people, like what happened to her family in 9/11, it caused a lot of trauma and death and stuff. And I really like that she talked about the power of the womb. I don't know, I just felt like it was really empowering and I really resonated with it. That sometimes darkness is not the power of the tomb, but it's the power of the womb, like a rebirthing experience. That really, really spoke to me. Um, and so I think when we're talking about like why we're asked to watch this, it's because I think a lot of the times people will be like, oh yeah, you can't feel anger. Anger is like a negative feeling. There's a lot of stereotypes around anger, but sometimes anger is very justified, and sometimes it's extremely productive if it's used, in the right ways. Instead of just telling people to shove down their anger and ignore their problems, it just doesn't end up creating any social change. It just kind of is expecting people to conform, and I don't think conformity is necessarily the goal when it comes to social justice work. And so I really thought that that was empowering. Um, and so when it comes to my social work practice, I definitely feel like in my area. It's an extremely religious area, so I think that this applies, to it. But there's a lot of talk about anger being a bad thing or anger being like a sinful feeling and things. And I feel like in that way, it can be unhelpful. And so just being able to educate and empower people throughout their community, because there's a lot of subgroups in ours. We have a large Hispanic population, so there's that aspect. But we also have a lot of like we have some LGBTQ, minority groups in our rural community, and also like there's a lot of domestic violence that happens in our area. And so like all of these things, it's just like it's important to just know the foundation that anger is a justified feeling, and there are ways that you can productively use it instead of just expecting people to shove it down, ignore it, and then just conform. And I definitely feel like this really resonated with me because I feel like as somebody who's been, a victim of domestic violence, as somebody who's like been um like traumatized by the predominant religion in this area, I would say that I feel definitely like that I had anger. And when she was talking about that anger and like how to just like appropriately use it and everything like that, I really felt like there was a lot of healing that came from it. And I almost teared up a few times when I watched it. It was definitely one of my favorite videos that we've seen in this program. Um, and so in my final message to my peers, we're talking about celebration. But how does celebration play a role in your practice with your clients and at your agency? Why do you think it should? Um, and I just think that, like, when it comes to celebration, I feel like that's a self care thing, going back to that. And I feel like we need to celebrate our clients too, to a certain extent, and help empower them in that way. Like, being able to move on from therapy or being able to, like, overcome a challenge in the school system. So I work with a lot of kids in the school. Like, you always want to celebrate that kind of a thing. Um, yeah. And so, like, for example, my client's going on Lagoon for a school field trip at the end of the year, and I'm going to be going with that client, this, and we're going to celebrate his successes. And I feel like that's just important in human nature, just to know, like, it's empowering. It knows that we're like appreciating ourselves, that others are appreciating us and recognizing us, and seeing who we truly are. How do I celebrate the major milestone in my personal life? Well, one semester left and we're done. I think that's just really exciting. I personally, like if we're talking about like the physical aspects of celebration, I'm going to get graduation pictures done. I'm going to attend the online graduation ceremony. I probably won't do the in-person one in the winter. But I feel like it's exciting, to be moving on with life and to be finally done with something that we've been working on for so many years. Like it's exciting thing. And so in that way, I feel like the physical aspect of celebrating, and then just including those that we love in our celebrations too. Having that support network, like it comes down to the basics for us too, as mental health workers and everything. And so, yeah. So those are just kind of my thoughts about celebration. I'm just really excited to get moving on with life and make a, you know, very excited about a livable wage. Can't deny that. But yeah, I'm very excited about the opportunities that I've gotten from this program. So thanks guys for watching. I'll see you later.